The new chapter of One Piece is out, and Oda apparently was thrilled that we spent the entire break power scaling everyone and everything together. So he has decided to throw some more gasoline on the fire. Plus, we have Blackbeard revealing some of the goals he is striving for, and some old dogs show off some new tricks. Starting off the chapter, we are leaving Elbaf and we are switching over to Hashinosu, the pirate island main base of the Blackbeard Pirates. So, if you were hoping that we were going to get any updates on if Kid was completely obliterated, unfortunately for you, it's not happening this chapter. Pirate Island is in disarray. The island is in a ruckus because Koby has escaped and is running amok. Clearly, the pirates here are valuing money over loyalty because, as they say, Blackbeard did not call dibs on Koby's cross-guild bounty, and he is fair game. We do see Koby's wanted poster, and he is looking strong. Apparently, Cross Guild is using a bounty system with stars, each star being worth 100 million berries, and our boy Koby is carrying 5 stars. Koby is definitely progressing to his dream since he is worth about 5 times the average captain. The local pirates are having a conversation with what looks like the giant skull in the center of the island, and we see that Avalo Pizarro has the Shima Shima no Mi, or the island fruits. Now, when I read this, I kind of drew a blank, and I don't remember this fruit before, but the Wikipedia does have it associated with somebody else in the story, so maybe it was from a movie I haven't seen or some filler that I skipped over. Anyways, we have Pizarro, Shiryu, and Bosco, who Bosco is now the booze man who has the Glug Glug fruits, and they are brainstorming the best way to deal with Koby since they need to keep him alive. We do see San Juan Wolf, who is already a giant, but who has now eaten the big fruits, and he is now the gigantification man. So they are really going all out with these different fruits, and I can't wait to see how they're going to incorporate this in the final fight. As they are deciding on how to deal with Koby, we do get to see a great flashback of Koby talking with Blackbeard, surrounded by some of his captains. Blackbeard is talking about how he wants to make his own country, and Blackbeard is planning on using Koby as a bargaining chip to get this done, hopefully to parlay some sort of seat at the world government. However, Koby reveals to Blackbeard that he is a member of SWORD, and Aokiji explains to Blackbeard that SWORD members are basically off-the-books special ops Marines, and if they were found out and captured, the Navy will basically just look the other way, so using Koby as a bargaining chip really isn't going to do him any good. So why Aokiji is explaining this to us and to Blackbeard, is he just foreshadowing himself turning on Blackbeard and revealing himself as a member of SWORD? That's probably the way most people are going to assume it's going to unfold, but I think it's not going to be quite as crystal clear as just, Aokiji was just undercover this whole time. It seems a little too on the nose. We then cut to a flashback of Perona, who is actually the person who freed Koby to begin with in Hashinosu. And it was in order to break Moria out. Now, Koby does have some qualms about, working with pirates. However, you do what you got to do in this kind of situation. We go back to, current time, and we see Koby is still running around, and he hears that there are 3 Marines that are attacking the port. And we see that Koby's insecurities start to creep back in, saying there's no way that they're here for me, who am I, So Koby is still humble, and, he still has some confidence issues for all of the progress that he is making. Being able to sit there and talk to Blackbeard surrounded by his captains and not just, panic. We see some of the Marines that are at the port fighting, and one of the local pirates manages to slice one of their heads off completely. However, he kind of just pulls himself back together since he is seemingly made of clay. Alongside this clay man, we see Kujaku, which is the granddaughter of the great staff officer Suru, who was the officer that was transporting Doflamingo to Impel Down. Kujaku is using a whip fruits to move buildings around as if she is herding sheep. So she can basically move inanimate objects as if they are circus animals. Since there were only 3 Marines that were said to be attacking the port, they are quickly surrounded by a firing squad of sorts of the local pirates. And just as they're about to fire, all of their bullets turn to flowers. And we see Habari there, who is Kobe's subordinate, and it doesn't say that she is using any sort of fruit ability, so these bullet flowers, I'm just going to assume, are going to be in the same vein of what Usopp might do, since she also has, a long rifle with a scope. She kind of looks like a sniper. Maybe she is switching out their bullets somehow with seeds that blossom into flowers. So I'm not really sure what she's doing. It is nice to see that, it isn't just a hit you over the head. She's a bullet fruit user. She isn't just a flower bullet person. It's nice to see that there are some fighters that use ingenuity to their advantage. Now this is kind of all happening in like a town square where, all of these pirates are surrounding the Marines, and we see another member of Sword, Prince Grus, I don't know how you say that. He is sitting on a rooftop controlling the Claymen. He is sitting there and he's giving the green light to somebody on Denda and Mushi, basically saying, yeah, everything is situated here. We are good to go. We then cut to Helmeppo and I believe Tashigi, unless that's somebody else and I can't really make it out, and Garp on a ship and is being launched into the air. I'm assuming Garp just punched the ocean and they did a kind of Kudo burst, and so they are flying full speed into the center of the island, and they're kind of mirroring Luffy's entrance in Marineford. And Garp jumps off the ship mid-flight with armament hockey and Conqueror's coating on his fists. Very similar to Dory and Bragi's comments last week, Garp says, you should have thought twice before kidnapping Kobe. And he unleashes Galaxy Fist, but it is such a tremendous, overwhelming shot. We see it basically craters the center of the island, disintegrating buildings, and I'm assuming all of those pirates that were in the center. So we now have confirmed that Moria is alive, Perona is still alive, and Garp has Conqueror's Haki. Now, we kind of all assumed that Garp had Conqueror's Haki. I'm not sure if it would have made it better if he didn't, but it just kind of makes sense story-wise that he would have Conqueror's Haki, since, he's, fighting toe-to-toe with, Roger, Whitebeard, Rocks, however powerful Rocks might have been, we're not sure yet. I can't believe we have to wait through an entire break week with all of this information. If last chapter was any sort of indication, this next break week is going to be crazy. So get your power scaling lists ready, because everyone's gonna want to know, is Garp stronger than Mihawk? Is Garp stronger than Shanks? Does Blackbeard off-screen anybody today? Either way, this was a fantastic chapter. The Galaxy Fist gave me chills. Not sure if it was meant to be so kind of similar to the last chapter, where we got Elbaf and we got some updates on Shanks' crew, we got more information about Shanks' crew, and it kind of ends with him unleashing this ungodly attack onto Kid, destroying him, disintegrating him probably. Not really, but this is kind of mirroring that and showcasing, Garp doing the exact same thing. We're seeing Hashinosu, we're seeing more of Blackbeard's crew, kind of how the ecosystem of their group works. We get some great lore about Sword, and then, the Galaxy Fist again, how, it's mind blowing.